Have you ever looked up at the night sky? I mean, really looked. Past the city lights, out in the middle of nowhere. You see all those stars, right? Billions of them. Trillions, maybe. It gets you thinking, are we the only ones looking back? Is this whole massive universe just for us? It seems a bit, well, lonely if you ask me. This question has been bugging people for ages. Philosophers, scientists, and even regular folks like us sitting around a campfire, staring into the cosmos. Now let's take that thought a step further. What if something is already here? Not little green men in flying saucers necessarily. Something quieter, more subtle. Something watching us right now from the shadows of our own solar system. A silent observer, sent from a civilization so far away we can't even imagine it. Imagine our solar system as a giant sprawling house. Earth is the living room where all the action is. But there are lots of other rooms. Dark attics, dusty basements, forgotten closets. I'm talking about the asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt way out past Neptune, even the Oort cloud, which is like the deep dark woods surrounding the property. There are millions of places for something to hide. An alien probe wouldn't just park itself on the moon for us to find. That's too obvious. It would be smart. A cosmic game of hide and seek, and we don't even know we're playing. These hiding spots are perfect. The asteroid belt is full of rocks of all shapes and sizes. Think about the timeline too. Human civilization, with its technology and science, is just a tiny blip in the grand scheme of things. An alien race could be millions of years older than us. It could have been sitting out there, dormant, waiting for signs of intelligence to emerge from this little blue planet. A silent sentinel, patiently waiting for the right moment to activate. When we think of alien technology, our minds usually jump to shiny, metallic spaceships with flashing lights, like in the movies. But an actual alien probe would probably be nothing like that. An advanced civilization would build something practical, efficient, and designed for a specific purpose. It might not look like anything we'd recognize as technology. The purpose of such a probe would be simple: to explore and report back. It would be the eyes and ears of its creators, sent across the unimaginable distances of interstellar space. What kind of tools would it have? It would be packed with sensors we can only dream of. Scanners that can analyze a planet's atmosphere from millions of miles away. So, we're not looking for a classic flying saucer. We're looking for an anomaly. An object that doesn't behave like it should. A rock that suddenly changes direction. The probe itself would be designed to be invisible. So, finding it would mean catching it making a mistake, or spotting the tiny, subtle clues it leaves behind. It's a fair question. If you have the technology to travel between stars, why send a robot? Why not just hop in your starship and come say hello yourself? Well, space is big, unimaginably, ridiculously big. Even for a super advanced civilization, interstellar travel would likely be a huge undertaking. It would be slow, dangerous, and incredibly expensive. Sending living beings on a one-way trip that could last for generations is a massive commitment. It's far easier, safer, and more efficient to send a small, tough, robotic probe first. Probes don't get bored. They don't need food, water, or life support. They don't have families to miss back home. They are the perfect interstellar explorers. Finally, you can send out a lot of them. Instead of building one colossal starship to send a crew to one single star, you could build 1,000 probes and send them to 1,000 different stars. So, while the idea of a face-to-face meeting is exciting, the reality is that our first contact with an alien intelligence probably wouldn't be with the aliens themselves, but with one of their robotic ambassadors. In 2017, astronomers spotted something really weird. An object came zipping through our solar system, and it was unlike anything they had ever seen before. They named it Oumuamua, which is a Hawaiian word that means scout or first distant messenger, and it certainly lived up to its name. The real kicker was how it moved. As Oumuamua flew past the sun, it sped up. It accelerated away faster than gravity alone could explain. But here's the thing. Astronomers couldn't see any gas or dust coming off Oumuamua. This is where the alien probe theory really kicked into high gear for a lot of people. One prominent astronomer, Avi Loeb from Harvard, put forward a bold idea. What if Oumuamua wasn't a rock at all? He suggested that the extra push could be caused by sunlight pushing on a very thin, lightweight object, like a solar sail. If Oumuamua was an artificial object, like a defunct probe or a piece of a larger ship, its strange acceleration would suddenly make a lot more sense. We'll probably never know for sure. Oumuamua is long gone, heading back out into the darkness of interstellar space, never to return. But it left us with a tantalizing mystery. So how do we actually look for these things? I mean, it's not like we can just send out a search party. The solar system is just way too big. The search is actually happening right here from Earth using our most powerful tools. These surveys create just a massive amount of data. They track millions of objects, plotting their orbits and analyzing their properties. The hope is that if an alien probe is out there, maybe disguised as an asteroid, it will eventually betray itself. The other side of the search is all about listening. This is the work of SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. For decades, scientists have been using giant radio telescopes to listen for signals from space. But these telescopes could also potentially pick up signals from a probe right here in our solar system. A probe might be sending reports back to its homeworld, or maybe it's trying to communicate with other probes. The search is expanding all the time. Scientists are now talking about active searches, not just passively looking and listening. This could involve sending out powerful laser or radio signals towards interesting objects to see if we get a response. It's a huge collaborative effort involving thousands of people all around the world. We are using every tool we have to scan the darkness, hoping to find a hint that we're not the only ones asking these big questions. Let's just imagine for a second that it happens. Scientists tracking a strange object confirm it. It's not a rock. It's changing direction in controlled ways. It's made of materials not found in nature. We found one. The moment that news breaks, the world would change forever. It would be the biggest news story in human history, no question about it. Every screen on the planet would be showing the same thing. The initial reaction would probably be a mix of shock, awe, and maybe a little bit of fear. Some people would welcome our new cosmic neighbors, while others would see it as a threat. It would be a chaotic, exciting, and honestly a scary time. For regular people, it would be a profound moment. It would completely reframe our place in the universe. We would know for a fact that we are not alone. This could be an incredibly unifying moment for humanity. Ultimately, how we react would say a lot about us as a species. Would we come together in the face of the unknown? Or would we let fear and suspicion tear us apart? It's a test we haven't had to face yet. It would be the start of a whole new chapter for humanity, a chapter where we are no longer the only known intelligence in the story of the cosmos. So we found it. The confirmation is in. There's an alien probe orbiting Jupiter or maybe hiding in the asteroid belt. The initial shock is over, and now we have to decide what to do. This is where things get really tricky. Do we try to communicate with it? It's the first instinct, right? To say hello. But how? We could beam radio messages at it, or flash lasers in complex patterns. But what if it interprets our message as a threat? Then there's the idea of getting a closer look. Sending one of our own spacecraft to rendezvous with it. The scientific treasure trove would be unbelievable. We could learn about technologies that are thousands of years ahead of our own. But again, what if the probe has defense mechanisms? What if it sees our approaching spacecraft as an attack and retaliates? Or what if it has some kind of self-destruct sequence to protect its secrets? The safest option, and the one many scientists would argue for, is to just watch, observe it from a distance. This is the don't poke the bear approach. Let it continue its mission, whatever that may be. This decision wouldn't be made by a small group of scientists. It would be a global debate. Every nation, every culture would have a stake in the outcome. Whatever we choose to do, it would be the most important decision humanity has ever made. For now, the alien probe remains a theory. A fascinating, mind-bending idea, but still just an idea. We haven't found any definitive proof. Oumuamua is gone. The strange signals we sometimes hear from space have always turned out to be something mundane. But that doesn't mean we should stop looking. In fact, it means we should look harder. Every day, our technology gets better. Our telescopes see farther, our computers get smarter, and our understanding of the universe gets deeper. The search itself is a noble thing. It pushes the boundaries of our knowledge and our capabilities. It inspires young people to become scientists, engineers, and dreamers. It forces us to think big, to look beyond our small world and our everyday problems. So the next time you look up at the night sky, let your imagination run wild. Think about the billions of stars and the trillions of planets that are out there. Think about the possibility that on one of those planets, a different kind of being looked up at their own sky and had the very same thought. And maybe, just maybe, they did something about it. Maybe one of their messengers, a silent, patient probe, is flying through the darkness right now, heading this way. Or perhaps it's already here, waiting for us to get smart enough to find it. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to us, or to give up its secrets easily. It's vast, ancient, and full of mysteries. The search continues, the dream lives on, and as long as there are stars in the sky, we should never ever stop wondering what or who might be out there looking back at us. Keep looking up.